So this would be part two. There's going to be people who cannot afford to get to the post office. So some kind of way you're going to have to supplement transportation for people who cannot get to the mail to the post office. So maybe you would have an Uber service where people who have a hard time getting their mail apply for transportation assistance, and either the U.S. Department can pick them up. Now, what you have to realize what that is, these fraud workers, they're going to send their friends to be on every corner to engage in creating an accident so that they can sue the government to get money. So it's probably not a good idea for you to personally be responsible for them to get there. So some kind of way, work with the local transportation company and allow them to get on the transportation free of charge. In some kind of way, use a tracking device to see that they are going to the post office. If they don't go to the post office like they say they're going, then you can disqualify them for this free ride. And with these digital little swipe cards, I'm sure they're already tracking people's movements with the flamingo card and the little swipe cards. They already can backtrack and say, well, they got on bus 8 at this time at this location. Then they went down to the Marion Transfer Center and they got on bus 30 and they went this place. Now, if the people use that day to do other things, that's fine. You just want to make sure that they went to the post office and got their mail, because that's the whole purpose of you providing the transportation service, for them to get their mail and this to work. And so if they also go to the grocery store and they also go to the casino and they also go to visit their sister, but they went and picked up their mail, they made it successfully to the post office and picked up their mail, don't penalize them for doing other things that day. The penalty comes in when you say you're going to go to the post office and you don't go to the post office. And if something happens where they don't make it to the post office, they need to call a hotline or something and say, I did make it to the post office because this happened. And I think this system will work. This age of Aquarian is bringing in swift changes, and people are going to be committing more fraud because the street level crimes have dried up. Just being able to sell drugs and prostitute, it's changing, and they don't have access to those ways in being anymore. But because they are karmics and they are criminal minded, they have to find new ways to commit crimes. And identity theft is going to be on the rise. And so we need to get ahead of the cart and go ahead and start even maybe some kind of way. Maybe you can even put cameras on mail. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but before the slave that came up with the airplane met the Wright brothers and they decided to patent his idea, nobody ever thought we would fly in airplanes. So there has to be a way. Probably y'all already got this. You hire agencies. I don't know all of the agencies. I watched a movie called Kingsman, and one of the Kingsmen, he was talking to a young man whose father saved his life like maybe 20 years earlier. And when he sent the young man home, he put his hand on his shoulder and he said, pleasure to meet you. Take care. And in his hand, he had a little sticker. And the sticker was a tracking device with the capability to hear. I don't know if it had visual capabilities, but it was just a little sticker. And within that sticker, when he got back to his home with his mom and his stepdad, the stepdad was like, oh, who was with you at the bar? Because the Kingsman took out like 10 people at the bar that was giving him a hard time. And the young man was sworn to secrecy, and he wouldn't tell the stepfather, who was at the bar, that helped beat up the stepfather's friends. And the Kingsman started talking through the little patch that was on the young man's jacket. I have enough evidence, and I will send the police there right now, and you will go away for life. And so he told the young man to meet him at the tailor parlor, where they make the suits, tailor shop. And he recruited the young man basically as a candidate to become a Kingsman. And so he, the young man, got pole vaulted into this whole other reality of spy equipment. And for those of you that are listening, that are a part of these higher organizations who I don't even know exist, that's where I want to be. My mind is very futuristic. I have a great imagination. And if it can be thought up by the mind, I know it can be brought into the material world. So some little sticker that you can put on each piece of mail, and the machine can do it, that has tracking capabilities. And this is an invasion of privacy, but you have to have it because people do not respect the Constitution. They don't respect the laws that exist. They don't respect the ordinances. So everybody's life has the propensity to become a Truman Show, but everybody's life is definitely on display. It's the only way you're going to be able to keep up with these derelicts. My 811 idea, having a device on children whereby they can, say a word or touch their ear, and it start recording when these creepy men are always approaching my daughters. It's like, bitch, you can tell she ain't 18, you nasty bastard. Children should be safe for at least 18 years. Give them 18 years. All these loose women and men that you could go and trick with, and you want to destroy the innocence of the children. That's wrong. And we need to give them more time for that. And I was about to say something more harsh, but I'm going to hold my tongue.